Now, the Aggie Soccer Hour with Coach G.
All righty, we are back. It is the Aggie Soccer Hour, the 162nd edition of the Aggie Soccer Hour with Coach G. I'm David Ellis, alongside is Texas A&M head coach G Guerrieri. And G, the Aggies, you know, it was a weekend. You look at the tie against Kentucky, 1-1, and I thought it was a fun game to watch if you're not invested in one particular team or the other. Very frustrating game to watch if you are an Aggie fan for multiple reasons, which I'll get into in a minute. But nonetheless, a 1-1 tie against Kentucky on Friday night, and then you have a short rest and have to come back on Sunday against Texas Southern, but didn't show too much after effects from the game against Kentucky, as you just literally pounded Texas Southern 10-0.
Well, I think all in all, it was it was, again, you're right, a little bit frustrating that we didn't get the win on Friday night, but I do think it was an entertaining game. I thought there was, for the neutral, there was a lot of things that you could jump up and shout about. Proud of the way that our players fought through a tough situation of going down, but coming back and tying the game. And, in the end, really, I thought we were a little unfortunate that we didn't get the winner there late, because we had several good looks at the end and just didn't quite finish it off.
And you look at the shots. Both teams had 10 shots, 5 corner kicks for Kentucky, 4 for Texas A&M. And one of the, for me anyway, for my money, one of the highlight reel goals of the year, of just about any year, Friday night against Kentucky. Just an absolutely brilliant cross by Sam Smith into Kate Colvin, who was going about 900 miles an hour down the right side of the far side of the 6. And I mean, just faced the ball. I'm not sure if she faced the ball or headed the ball, but at any rate, ended up with a bloody nose out of the deal and just kind of smiling through the blood. But I mean, it was absolutely just a brilliant goal.
Well, and motivation, because she was one who was called for the foul that gave Kentucky the penalty kick that led to the goal against us. The perfect justice for her to come back and score the equalizer, and an impressive equalizer, because she rose so high to get above the girl who was in good defensive position, but just rose above her and got above her and just headed it into the upper corner. The goalkeeper had absolutely no chance for it. I was worried that there was going to be a foul called against Sammy, because Sammy went to receive the ball, and usually if one of our girls is more athletic than the other team and the other team falls down, that's usually a foul against us for athleticism against Sammy. And Sammy was able to get the ball, hit a great left-footed cross, about a 40-yard ball across to Sammy, to Kate, into that space on the back post, and Sammy just rose and finished it. So great goal. And in the last minute of the half.
That's what I was going to say. And it also, you have Kentucky, who gets benefit of a PK. And, first of all, Kenna Caldwell made a great guess and a great save to her right. Unfortunately, Rhodes was able to put the rebound away. But and you could have been really, the team could have been really kind of down after that, after not getting a call earlier and then having a PK called, penalty called on them. But, I mean, it was 3.5 minutes later, and it's even.
Right.
I mean, that takes a lot of character, I think.
You take that adrenaline and that oomph into the locker room with you, and I thought that it was a huge momentum shift for us that got us into halftime.
Now, so I've been saving this up for 4 days, and I know you can't say anything, but that doesn't mean that I can't. I don't understand how, for the life of me, Miley Hayes can be taken down in the box with a leg whip, and you don't make that call, and then 10 minutes later, you make a call at the other end of the field, that is a very soft PK, and somehow or another justify that. I mean, if Miley Hayes being taken down, I know that our center official said she slipped, and my response would be, well, yes, when you have your leg taken out from under you, that does happen, which she did.
You see, he's trying to wind me up.
I'm not. I don't want you saying a word. I have been holding this in.
See the big hook coming right up right by my mouth now, and I'm not.
I got home and
I look like a big mouth bass over here, don't I?
No,
coming through the weeds here. It looks like a big old
I told you I was going to do this. I have to get this off my chest. This is going to help me. But I got home and Patty said, "What are you so irritated about?" And I said, "Look at this, And I brought up the replay of that, and her reaction was, "Oh." No wonder. But at any rate, it's so much of officiating is being consistent, and it's just hard to wrap my head around. Okay, I feel better now.
Good. I'm glad.
All right.
I'm glad. I mean, mental health is an important part of society these days, and part of it is just talking it out and getting it off your chest.
As you know, I kind of have a tenuous grasp on it to begin with.
For you.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate that, Coach. I really, really do. All right, so now that I'm over that, let's talk about Sunday. Texas A&M.
It was a good cleansing, as far as mental health goes.
It was, and the other thing that when you're playing a team that maybe where you just have better athletes. I mean, A&M does. Period. End of story. So many times, the tendency is to kind of play to that level and to get lazy, and it's a Sunday when you've had a short rest and all that stuff. Texas A&M, I thought, did anything but that. I thought they really came out and played sharp and played up to a standard that they were trying to reach.
Well, we talked to the players. We talked to the players immediately after the match on Friday, and said that the game that we don't necessarily these days in modern times we don't necessarily play 2 matches in 48 hours on a Friday Sunday anymore. That now that we've started playing more Thursday Sunday games, but because this was going to be our last opportunity while we're in SEC play, we wanted to get one more game in to kind of to keep our timing going as we were going to start this run of SEC matches, and that this was going to be an opportunity for a squad performance. And the people who deserve to be out there and playing and just hadn't been in as many matches recently, we wanted to get them time, and we wanted to get them games. And so that those players, you need to prepare, because you're going to get a lot of minutes in, and the players who have been playing, you're also going to get some time in. So be ready, and we want you to go. And we're going to play a team that we know that we're a better team than, and it's up to us. You have to respect your opponent and be ready to play at speed and come after them as hard as you can. And you can't mess around. You got to go at them, respect them, to go at 100%. So we started a regular back line, but we played a lot of players who hadn't logged quite as many minutes. And I thought that we came out, we scored in the first 4 minutes, and kind of kept the pressure on and we were able to play everybody. Everybody was able to get in there. We didn't play. Kenneth Caldwell was the only player that we didn't play, but Kenneth has logged most of our minutes in goal this season. And again, as the score, even as we got to 9, we kept players in there. We didn't keep the usual first 11 in there, but we didn't want to disrespect our opponent and start messing around and doing odd stuff. We wanted to keep playing, and the goals that we were scoring late were based on hard work. I mean, Taylor Jernigan scored a couple goals based on effort and on second effort. She was there and scored on a couple rebounds and balls for being there just for working hard, which is a great characteristic. And we had goals by several different people, by assists by several different people, and I was real pleased that we were able to reward a lot of those players for the hard work. You can see how hard they work, and
right.
And a lot of people who don't see our training sessions got a chance to see what it is and what the depth of this lineup is and what our goalkeepers are like. You don't get a chance to see Grace that much. You don't get a chance to see Jordan that much, and you can see that we've got talent all over the field.
There's some quality depth. Mm-hmm. Just to look at the goals on Friday night, we mentioned Kate Colvin with her third of the season, but Anderson Williams against TSU. As you mentioned, got the first goal. That was her first of the year. Quinn Cornog scored her first of the year. Mia Pante scored her first goal of the year. Carissa Beckman, her second. Miley Hayes, her fourth. Jazz Wilkinson, who will be on in the second segment along with Quinn, scored her fourth and fifth goals of the season. And then Taylor Jernigan, who scored her second and third goals of the year, you already mentioned. So a lot of
Eloise Deschanel got her first assist.
Absolutely. Eloise Deschanel got her first assist of the season. She's here tonight. And Olivia Fetzer got an assist.
That's great. Yep.
And so I think that's the first time that she's been in the scorebook. So just a lot of contributions from a lot of different players. And then I know Friday night, another big event in Aggie land. One of the Aggies' former players, Shay Groom, inducted into the Texas A&M Athletic Hall of Fame.
Yeah, which was really neat. And she was able to come out on and see the girls on Saturday before she was brought out at halftime of the A&M football game, which had a delayed start because of some storms and stuff. But she was introduced at halftime with the other Hall of Fame and Hall of Honor inductees at Kyle Field. But she was able to come over and chat with the girls and everything, while we were at practice on Saturday morning, which is always neat to get the former players and especially the legends like Shay to come on out, and it's a neat honor. She's a very special young woman. Here it is. She's in her 9th year as a pro, and she's actually coming back from ACL surgery right now. So she's playing with Houston, and just an amazing representative of Aggieland and Texas A&M.
And your 6th Aggie soccer player to be so inducted into the Hall of Fame. That's a real tribute to you and to the entire Phil and Lori, the entire coaching staff at Texas A&M.
Yeah, and it's hard to get into that club. That's a pretty exclusive Hall of Fame club. It's a club that's not really exclusive to female athletes. It's because it's mostly a good old boys network of football players and baseball players, and those are the people who vote on who gets into the Hall of Fame. So we've got 33 All-Americans and some real legends, but only 6 players in the Hall of Fame. So to be recognized in that company is a very, very high honor. You got to have a pretty good resume, and Shay being a first-team All-American, a first-team academic All-American.
In the same year, as a matter of fact.
In the same year, and also, having won, several Big 12 and SEC championships. That's a pretty good resume.
It is, and I'm just glad to see it for her, and congratulations as well to y'all. First of all, for bringing her here, down from Liberty, Missouri.
From Kansas City area, yep.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Coming up after the break, Quinn Cornog is making her way over here. She texted me a while ago. She is stuck in traffic coming from.
But she's here.
Oh, you made it. Oh, you made it. Okay, well, then you can eat barbecue then. When she sent me a text, I sent her one back. I said, no barbecue for you. And but now you can eat barbecue. So Quinn Cornog here, as along with Taylor Jernigan. Jazz Wilkinson. I was looking at, we had Jazz and then Taylor and then Jazz again on the scoring. So Jazz Wilkinson will be here, and we'll be talking to them right after the break. You are listening to the Aggie Soccer Hour, coming to you live from Rudy's Barbecue on Harvey Road. At Rudy's Barbecue on Harvey Road, it's the Aggie Soccer Hour with Texas A&M head coach G Guerrieri. I'm David Ellis, and this is the best part of the program. We get to visit with a couple of our Aggie players, and today on my immediate left is Quinn Cornog, and on the far left is Jazmine Wilkinson. And Jazz, all right, you know the drill. As the new kid on the block, we always have this reader that we have to read. about Rudy's barbecue, because it is truly the best barbecue in town. And so we always get a player to read it, and we've been doing that for, I don't know, 3 years maybe, something like that. And I mean, they've just been absolutely spectacular. So do your very best to not mess this up, okay?
I'll try my hardest.
All right. You ready?
Ready.
Go.
Soccer and barbecue lovers know the perfect brisket needs the right wood. Rudy smokes all their meats using their delicious signature rubs in 100% oak-fired pits. Get your real Texas barbecue fix today at Rudy's or on the web at rudys.com.
There you go.
Oh, that was great.
Thanks.
Were you a little nervous?
I was. I pulled it off, though.
We had people out here ask for you to do it in Spanish.
That would be horrible.
Jazz, you should try.
So, so you grew up on the west side of Canada. Did you guys have to take French?
We did. I didn't pay attention that much, but yeah, we were required to take French. Yeah.
So would you be able to translate that into French?
Absolutely not.
Oh,
no.
okay. All right. Just because none of us would be able to say if it was correct or not, but you never know.
Could have made something up for sure.
So guys, first of all, Quinn had an early goal. Maybe it was the second goal of it was the second goal of the game on Sunday. I think our first goal off of a header this year, off of a set piece.
Off of a corner kick.
Yeah, I think so. Congratulations. And,
Thank you.
And we mentioned it on the air. I mean, you sliced through two defenders. I mean, you really went up in the air to get it.
Yeah, I did. I mean, like before George even took the corner, I said to myself, "I'm scoring this." So I did whatever I could to get it in the back of the net.
Well, you did, and it was a great job. And Jazz, I mean, we talked about you got your fourth and fifth goal of the year. But I mean, I think it was the first one.
It was her second goal.
No,
her header.
No, I'm talking about
she scored on a corner kick
as well.
Oh, the
rocket shot.
Yeah, the rocket. I mean, I thought this was going through the net. I mean, you ripped that ball with your left foot. Are you naturally left-footed?
I'm not. I'm actually right-footed.
That's your off foot?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. I did not realize that when because I mean, that was a rocket. I am glad that the goalkeeper was not able to get a hand on it, because I think it would have taken it off. I mean, it was going. And then you went and got a header.
Yep.
After that. Mm-hmm. And that was our second. I can't remember. Taylor's came after yours, because Taylor got a header too as well, right?
She scored on a header, but it wasn't on a corner kick.
Wasn't on a corner kick.
These two both scored on corners.
So kind of give me, sum up the season a little bit. Jazz, we'll start with you first. Sum up the season, kind of where you are now going from here on out. It's all SEC. Mm-hmm. Kind of what's the mood of the team? What's your mood, and looking forward to the rest of the season?
Yeah, for sure. I think the mood's really high right now. I think getting that big win was really needed. It was a big confidence boost for everybody. So I think it's going to be good to go into the games this weekend. They're going to be tough ones. But, yeah, I think the mood's set high. I know I'm feeling confident as well getting those 2 goals. But, yeah, just carrying that into the next game is going to be really important. So
I've been meaning to ask you this. Tell me the pronunciation of your hometown.
It's pronounced Nanaimo.
Nanaimo.
Yeah. Okay.
I always say when I'm doing the introductions on the radio, because I've been meaning to ask you and I never have, I always just say British Columbia, Canada.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
But Nanaimo, now I know. Okay, I got it. And by the way, I should say that last goal of yours was kind of a milestone for you. You had 5 goals in your first 3 years at Arizona State. You now have 5 goals in your first 8 games at Texas A&M. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And which is actually in the last 4 games at Texas A&M.
Well, that's right. You're right. And Quinn, this is another transfer originally from Vanderbilt. She was all freshman SEC at Vanderbilt, just as Jazz was all on the Pac-12 all freshman team. I'll get it out in just a second. 3 goals and 3 assists at A&M, 4 goals and 5 assists during her career. And you have to switch back and forth sometimes between the back line to a holding mid, sometimes in an attacking mid role. Talk about, is that hard for you to kind of adjust mentally?
I mean, yeah, but for me, it's just about being on the field and wherever they believe I'm needed. Like, I'll go there and play. But, yeah, I mean, I think being in the back line has helped me more in the midfield in the sense of looking forward and looking forward not only, like, first, like, having that be, like, my first thing to do versus, like, going backwards or laterally. And I think, like, the time I have been given in the middle this year so far, I've done a better job of that. But being in the back also helped me be more like tenacious in the middle of my whether it's like on the air, like challenges or ground challenges, stuff like that. But I like being versatile, and again, like I just go where I'm needed.
So I asked Jazz about kind of the mood of the team and sort of where is the team at in your opinion, and where are you at in terms of the rest of the season?
Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, like winning against Texas Southern 10-0, huge confidence booster. And the fact that I think we had 36 shots and put 25 on frame, that's also like a huge stat, because I think that's something we as a team have struggled with, getting our shots on frame. We've been creating the chances but not being able to get them like I mentioned on frame and in the back of the net. So I think that's something that we can bring into these next two games. And I think these next two games are very vital games considering Arkansas and Mississippi State are both highly ranked. So
Coach G, would you talk a little bit about both of these players, of course, Jazz from Arizona State and now Quinn from Vanderbilt, and of course this is Quinn's second year here, so it's not like it just happened last week. But when these guys went into the portal, what was it that where you and the coaching staff kind of said we need to get her?
Well, in two different situations. Quinn was someone that we recruited heavily the first time around, and we missed, and so it was like a swing and a miss, and then we're like going, whoa, we get another chance here, and so we're like, we're not missing again on this one. So we're like, we got to find a way to make sure that Quinn knows how much we love her and we want her to be here. And so when we had the opportunity, a second time, we wanted to just make sure that she understood that, and that this was we felt would be the perfect place for her to be. In Jazz's situation, it was a chance for us to kind of show her that this would be a good landing spot for her, and a place where she could come and get a rebirth of sorts. And it's funny too, because both of these players have played in different roles, and they've also played in the same role. And Jazz, they both have played in the holding midfield role, the sixth role. Jazz, growing up and playing in Canada, played as a striker and played even as a winger sometimes, but played as a forward. And then at Arizona State, she was kind of moved back into the sixth role because she's so good in the air, which you saw that on the weekend, and really did that tremendously well. Well, we brought her here to be a striker, and you can see why. She has 5 goals in 4 games. Quinn was our midfield MVP last year because of her ability to really stabilize things, and especially when Taylor Pounds went down last year, Quinn became it just showed how important Quinn is to the way that we play and how dominant she can be. And both these players are dominant players. They're dominant physically, and they have dominant mentality as far as the ability to win and kind of control play. So both of them have that presence on the field and presence no matter where they are on the field. So they're both really, really important to us in the presence that they bring. So with Quinn, we started her out because of that presence. Like, okay, we have a really young back line. Can we use that presence to kind of control and run our back line? And we've kind of we're like, you know what, you're such a good midfielder. Let's get you back in the midfield and stabilize that again. Right. And so it's been a matter of, but she's so good on controlling the back line. We keep going back and forth on where is it that she's going to do the most for us. And here it is. Now we have Arkansas coming up this week. She's going to be a dominant player in that lineup for us for when that game comes about. She's going to be incredibly huge and important, and that Jazz will be too, because that's the kind of game that's why these guys will be really important players for us, because Arkansas is a team that's going to challenge us in that type of realm. So these guys are going to be so important for us to be able to win those battles, but also they're smart enough and skillful enough that they're going to be able to play the style that we want to play. So it's they're critical to our success. Both of them are incredibly critical to us, and they're also the players that for the rest of the team, they're like, finally, they're going to get G off our backs because he's been ranting and raving about scoring on corner kicks, and these are the two that finally shut me up a little bit to get it done. That they're the ones who have scored the goals on them. So they're the shining examples at the moment.
All right, so Jazz, I've got to ask you, who is your? I mean, you've got 2 roommates, right? Who is your favorite roommate?
I think did that come from the crowd? Is that a question from the crowd?
Elle's camera's out.
Possibly, yes, it did. Possibly, yes. So who would that be?
I can't. I don't. No comment.
See what I mean about being smart? She's
Yeah.
really intelligent in the way she goes about her life.
I think that's all right. We'll let you get away with it. But and also, I heard, I always text Coach Phil, say, hey, have you got anything on these players that I can ask him about? And so he was telling me that you bought for your boyfriend for his birthday. What did you buy?
I got him a rangefinder.
A rangefinder.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I think Phil's just jealous, honestly.
Really kind of romantic. You saw that as,
Well, he's taken a liking to golf, and I don't know.
Okay.
He really wanted one, so I thought, why not get him one?
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So a rangefinder. That's kind of like a husband buying a vacuum cleaner for his wife for a birthday. I mean,
Yes.
that's okay. But if you're still in the mood, my birthday is in April. So if you're still in the mood for rangefinders, so just want to throw that out there. And Jazz, did you have an accident on your bike or a moped or what was this?
Yeah, I took a tumble off my scooter. Oh, my mom's watching this live stream, so she's going to be kind of upset. But, yeah, it was raining the other day, and my scooter just slipped from under me. And I got a pretty gnarly scratch on my leg, but it's all good now.
Okay, all right. Well, 2 great players who are not only great players, but they're great people, and they are fun to watch. And I know you guys are looking forward to Sunday because not only is our next home game, but it is Arkansas, and it is we got a huge promotion coming on. Taylor Swift has been invited to come down and sing the national anthem. So we don't, I haven't heard back from her yet. But that's in the works. And so if not her, maybe, I don't know, Taylor Pounds.
Taylor Jernigan could sing.
Maybe Taylor Jernigan will do it. We're not really sure. Or maybe it's the Aggie Band. We don't know. But, G, was that the latest? You still haven't heard?
I think. Well, the office might be closed right now. We'll see.
All right. So anyway, that's entirely possible that could happen. But even if that doesn't happen, we're going to have limited edition Taylor Swift-inspired Aggie Soccer T-shirts and posters for the first 500 fans that visit the Howdy 10 in the northwest corner of Ellis Field. So even if Taylor Swift doesn't show and even if Taylor Pounds and Taylor Jernigan decline the invitations and the Aggie Band, the Hullabaloo Band plays the national anthem, we'll still have those T-shirts and those posters. So be sure to come out on Sunday.
Actually, I've seen the T-shirts. The T-shirts are actually really, really nice. They're nice. And the posters look great. I know all the Swifties out there are going to love it. I know that they're giving out like friendship bracelets. There's all kinds of. If you're a Swiftie, I know there's a few of them out there. You'll enjoy the promotional event.
Okay, and in the meantime, I will be looking for Taylor Swift. So, all right, that's going to about do it for this segment. As always, guys, thank you for taking time to come out here. I know it kind of breaks up your schedule, but we appreciate it. You're great players and you're great people, and we're so happy that you're Aggies.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be right back right after this with more of the Aggie Soccer Hour from Rudy's Barbecue on Harvey Road. And it is time to get some barbecue here at Rudy's Barbecue. And, we don't say enough about, how grateful we are that Rudy's hosts this show here.
Absolutely.
they're so gracious in taking care of G and I and our players and everybody associated with the show, and have been now for years. And they not only do they make great barbecue, but they're also great folks, and we are so grateful for Rudy's Barbecue and the things that they do for Texas A&M soccer. So I just wanted to mention that because I don't do it enough.
Really, on a lot of ways, they've been a sponsor of our camp for a long time. Pete Bassett, who is one of the owners and lives back over in New Braunfels, is just a great guy. His parents live here in Bryan College Station, and just a great family man, and someone that I'm really, really thankful for. So it's thank you to Rudy's big time.
Absolutely. So we look at, you can tell we're in the SEC schedule because the games are getting, a typical SEC, tight, close games decided so many times in the last minute, and very, very hard-fought contest. If you look at last week's results, last Thursday, there was one game on Thursday, Georgia and Alabama. Georgia was ranked 23rd at the time. Alabama was ranked 7th at the time, ended in a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, and it was back and forth. It was really entertaining game all the way around. The Mizzou and Florida game, which are two teams that aren't ranked nationally, it came right down to the wire as well with a big save by the Mizzou goalkeeper to save it at the end. They're in Gainesville, and Mizzou ends up with a big 3-2 victory. Our opponent on this coming Thursday, Mississippi State, a late counterattack. They win the game in, with about just a little bit more than a minute left.
Yes.
Against Auburn, 1-0. One of the crazier games was also played on Sunday, Arkansas and Grand Canyon. And I don't know for anyone who saw that game, Grand Canyon scored early. Arkansas comes from behind, ties it, goes ahead 2-1, and then Grand Canyon, battles and ties it with, I think, 52 seconds left in the game. And I was watching it with our players because we were getting ready to go out and train, and they score to tie it, and our girls like, oh my goodness, and our girls like step it. I go, that's not really that great for our league, and they leave, and Arkansas kicks off, bada bing, bada boom, bada boom. And Arkansas scores like in 30 seconds with 14 seconds left, and they win it 3-2. Yeah. And just an amazing win for Arkansas, 3-2 in that particular game. So Ole Miss beat LSU. That's an upset. Ole Miss got a penalty kick and made it stand. So just it's that tight, it's that close, and and it could continue to be that way. There's some more big games this weekend. You've got Arkansas is going to host Alabama. That's number 9 against number 11 nationally. That'll be a huge game on Thursday night. That's at 6:30. That's maybe the marquee game. But then you've got South Carolina is going to go to Kentucky, and so you've got South Carolina. That's number 7 in the country. Against Kentucky, who again we know all about them. They're undefeated. Right. That'll be the biggest game of the year now for Kentucky, and can they do it again? Is the big question, and that'll be huge. Mizzou goes to Auburn, Florida and Tennessee, and then on Sunday, obviously our game, but then one of the other big games is Vanderbilt will go down to Alabama to play, and that'll be an interesting game. Tennessee is going to go to South Carolina. So lots of intriguing matches. I don't think that you can look at any games this year and just go, wow, that's going to be a blowout, or that's going to be a lopsided game. At least this time of the year, here in the second week of the season, the first double game week of the season. Right. I see everything as being just a chess match and a scrum of sorts as teams go and play, because it really is that tight.
I wanted you to explain real quickly. I was looking at the standings today in the SEC, just kind of reviewing, and so, and I had forgotten. It was looking at of course, Texas A&M in the SEC West, and I was looking at the division standings, and of course, in the division we were 0-0-0, because
Kentucky's on the East.
is in the Eastern Division. So in terms of winning the SEC West, the only games that matter in that regard are games against other teams in the SEC West.
Correct. And so the way that the schedule is laid out by the SEC office is you're going to play every team in your division, and then you're going to play 4 crossover games.
Right.
So there's 7 teams in the West. So you're going to play those 6 other teams, and you're going to play 4 crossover teams. And then the next year, it's a shuffle of the crossover teams, and you're always going to play those 6 rival Western teams.
So when the total, all of your games against SEC opponents, your in-division games and your crossover games, where the crossover games come into play, is in determining the seeding
for the
SEC tournament.
Correct.
So that's where that game, those games matter.
Correct. So that's total points. So that's in all cases, points matter, and it's 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, 0 points for a loss. So we do in the total points. We're at 1 point, so we're in the middle of the pack right now, or I guess the middle of the pack because there's teams with 3 points, there's teams with 1 point, there's teams with no points. So we're in the middle of the pack as far as the overall standings go for the overall champion. The way the standings or the seedings are going to go when it comes time for that is the champion of the East and the champion of the West will be the 1 and 2 seeds based on points, and then after that, 3 through 6 will get a bye in the first round of the tournament, and then 7 through 10 will do a quote play-in game, and 11 through 14 are out of the tournament.
But for those seeding purposes, after the top 2 teams, that's where your games, all of the conference games count.
Correct.
Okay, I just wanted to, because some people might look at that and go, well, wait a minute, we played one conference game, we tied it, how come it's showing us with no points?
Right.
It's because it was against, from a division standpoint, it was against an SEC East team, and that game doesn't count in the division standing. So anyway, just wanted to clear that up. Let's take our final break, and then we're going to come back, and we'll talk about Mississippi State and Arkansas right after this. You're listening to the Aggie Soccer Hour from Rudy's Barbecue on Harvey Road. All right, we are back. It's the sprint to the finish of the Aggie Soccer Hour here at Rudy's Barbecue on Harvey Road. And before I go any further, we were talking about how grateful we are for Rudy's Barbecue and all their support over the years. And the same goes as well for Brian Broadcasting, which then reminds me to be sure and thank Kevin Minshew over here, who G and I wouldn't even be on the air if it wasn't for him over here pushing the right buttons, and then Austin back at the station. Keeping things between the ditches, so we appreciate all the work that they do, and very grateful for them as well. So the Aggies get back to SEC play on Thursday night from Starkville, Mississippi. The Aggies will take on the Bulldogs. That game gets underway at 6:30 on Thursday. You'll be able to listen to it on 97.3 FM or on the SEC, or on your 12th Man mobile app or radioaggieland.com. Thomas Dick, our SID extraordinaire, will be doing the call with me. And then Saturday, of course, at 6 o'clock out at Ellis Field, Arkansas. The Arkansas Razorbacks come to town again, 97.3 FM, 12th Man mobile app or Radio Aggieland app. That will be on SEC Plus, and Jeff Gibbon and I will have the call on the TV side, and Casey Atnip and David Nuno on the radio side. So talk a little bit about Mississippi State, G, if you will. I watched them play Auburn today on the ESPN app. They're 6-1-2 on the season, and I saw why they are. That's a good team.
No, they're very good. I think James Armstrong, who's their head coach, and the rest of their staff have done a tremendous job. They they are a working class team, but they're not they're not just a bunch of mudders. They play. They put the ball down. They play. They really are a skilled team. They're an experienced team. They're an older team. They've done a really good job in the transfer portal and in bringing in players that try to play. they've brought in some experience, some sophistication, but they've done a good job of developing their own players as well. So, they're very good in possession. They've got a real style to the way that they play. They're really hard to score against. They've got a legit big time goalkeeper in Maddie Anderson, who's a senior, and I think she's already announced that she's going to come back for a fifth year next year. She's from here in the state of Texas, and has been an anchor for them, and the rise of them has been right around her when she got there has been when they really started to build around, and I think James, who was the associate head coach at Auburn and then came over to Starkville, has been just a super leader for that program. So they've beaten us the last couple times they played us. So it's a team that is really hard to play against, and it's a big challenge. They're number 7 right now in the national RPI.
Well, and you, in terms of some of their players that you'll hear a lot if you listen to the radio broadcast. Aitana Martinez Montoya is a player from Madrid, Spain, that they picked up. She has 3 goals and an assist on the season. And also Maggie Wadsworth up top for them. Another very quick, very dynamic player.
Next level speed, really does a good job on getting in behind you. She times her runs really well. Macy Hodge is a really good player in the midfield. She kind of makes things go for them. Really smart in the way that she plays. I think Haley McCorder is a terrific player as well. From the midfield, she's great at getting on the end of balls right around the penalty area and causes a lot of trouble for a lot of teams, and kind of keeps balls alive. And those are really good players. And they're a team that is they're in every game. I mean, all of their games they're either 1-goal wins or they're draws, or they're not a team that's ever going to back down. And you look at the results that they have, they're always right there. And they're a team that is they with every one of the results, they just believe that much more. I know they'll have a big bell clanging crowd at the game on Thursday night.
Yes, they will. And you mentioned Maddie Anderson in goal. A 0.45 goals against average, giving up less than half a goal a game, an .867 save percentage, and she spent all but 17 minutes in goal for Mississippi State. So Maddie Anderson, hard to get the ball.
I don't know why
her.
She wasn't in goal for the 17 minutes, but
yeah, that's very good.
Came out to get a drink of water or something like that, long drink.
And then Arkansas here in the last minute and a half. Arkansas is Arkansas. Sounds trite, but it's true. I mean, they're really good.
Well, they have their formula. I mean, Colby Hales is a pretty smart guy, and he has designed a system that is really hard to play against. They're bigger, faster, stronger than their opponents, and they're tall, they're lean, they're fast, they're skillful, and they have a system that they play with, and they get the ball forward quickly. They are organized in the way that they attack, and they are relentless in the way they come after you. And B. Franklin is their leading scorer, and she is a dominator, and ton of respect for the way that they get the ball into the attack. Ton of respect for the tenacity by the way that they play. They're hard to play against, and they're the favorites to win the league, and they've won a lot of championships recently, and because they're so hard to play against, and because of they're a very high press team. They have a big roster. Then they use a lot of players, and they keep coming at you, and they're relentless in the way they keep coming at you, and it's like they're like, listen, if you can beat us the way that we play, hats off to you. And
right.
They bring the challenge. So it is what it is, and you gotta go out and try to find a way to beat what they do with how you go, and we'll take on that challenge on Sunday night at 6:00.
Absolutely, and hope to see you out there. And if you can't make it, again, you can watch on the SEC Plus network or listen on the radio as well. And Anna Pottigill's in her 12th year of eligibility at Arkansas.
She's a heck of a player.
One of these days she will graduate.
She's an excellent player.
She really is. All right. I need to read all the legalese. These copyrighted broadcasting exclusive presentation of Learfield IMG College. under the broadcasting rights granted by Texas A&M University. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the express written consent of Texas A&M University and Learfield IMG College. Announcers are provided by Learfield IMG College and Texas A&M University. For G Guerrieri, I'm David Ellis. Thanks for listening, everybody. See you next week. Gag 'em.